the NFT edition.
Today I have with me a highly sought after artist here in Singapore. His name is Patrick Bazzaleo and he's a faith-based fine arts artist specializing in digital hyperrealism and acrylic art. Now, over the last 3 years as a full-time artist, he has sold over 800 limited edition and original artwork, including to billionaires. His work have also been featured in exhibitions in Singapore, Korea, Taiwan, Milan, Spain, and Luxembourg. His work as a creative director in an agency saw him serving high-profile clients such as NBA, and he directed an animation series for Junior NBA on YouTube that garnered millions of views. Today, Patrick infuses hyperrealism art, augmented reality, and virtual reality, recently launching his very own generative NFT art collection. So if you want to learn how you can become top of your field as an artist or creative in 2021, you've got to pay special attention to this very episode. Hi, this is Eric here, and you're listening to #Highly Sought After. Yo!
Hello.
Hello, nice to see you. And I have a fun question to start off with, right? Because since you are an artist,
Yes.
how many paintings have you painted so far? If you remember.
I don't really remember. I think maybe less than 100.
Less than 100
Yes.
now. So this is the question for you. Out of all the paintings that you have created, which one best represent you?
Okay. I think there's one particular painting which represent what I am doing right now. And not just now, when I started as well. So that series, it's called From Above.
From Above.
Yes,
Okay.
From Above. It's a changing of perspective, seeing from above. And of course, because I'm a faith-based artist, so it's seeing from the Heavenly Father's view.
Wow.
So one of them is the one that really speaks for me is, I call it Shalom, which is Jesus walk on water. Yeah. Right, Jesus walk on water, and of course later on Peter. The story says that Peter also walk on water. So why that is so unique to me, I think.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I show you. This is a particular one. This piece is the one.
God. Okay, so those of you listening on a podcast, you really got to go to the YouTube, okay, and to look at it. So we're gonna have this on YouTube later. So that's Jesus.
Yes, and the disciple is here.
The disciples are here.
Yeah. So why
From
why this piece is so it speaks to me a lot, right? It's because when I was trusting how to step out in this space, I think one of the area where we all have fear, right? We all have fear. We need courage, and when I was just looking at the verse, and it says that Peter walked on water because he keep his eyes on Jesus, right? But yet, interesting, it's not that Peter walked on water that caught my attention. It is the 11, because the 12 disciples on the boat, right?
Yes.
In the boat. So I just have a thought. What is that 11 doing? Since if Peter can walk on water, right? Why the 11 are not asking to walk as well?
Yes.
But yet they're sitting in the boat and watch. So then I just told myself, I said, I don't want to be that 11 that's sitting in the boat and not the one to step out. Yeah. Which is more scary, but yet exciting. It is to walk on the water. So at the end, there's only one man on earth, a real human being on earth, that has a chance to define that moment. The rest I can just watch. So I told myself I don't want to be the 11.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's why you're stepping out. And that actually explains a lot about your expedition towards NFT, toward augmented reality, and combining technology with art.
Yes,
which
right.
is not something I see a lot, but that's exactly what led you there, right?
Yes, right.
Now, what is your vision as an artist? You have one.
Yes, of course. I think one of the vision that I wanted to bring is to bring love, joy, and hope into every spaces. Yeah, in physical spaces and also in the digital spaces. Because I think this love, joy, and hope, right? Because I believe that when we have a painting at home, a picture at home, when you look at a picture, I believe a picture or painting does invoke emotions,
of course,
even inspiration, even spiritually, right?
Yep.
So in the aspects, if you have a painting that you see every day, imagine that is depressing or dark. What does it really entails you in terms of your emotion?
No, you'll be bad emotions,
you'll be bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll feel bad.
Right.
Or maybe just for the day. But if you're putting it at home, looking at it for 24 hours a day, what does it cause your emotion to be? So that's where I say, okay, I want to bring that anything that is bringing love, joy, and hope into the
So
art.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Love, joy, hope.
Yeah.
That's a very beautiful theme. It makes all of us think about, whether we are artists or not. If you think about it, we're actually all artists, right? We're all creating
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Right. For some of us, we are creating education products. For some of us, we are creating fitness advice. I think it's a very nice way to put it, which is, what are you producing, right?
Yes.
And yours is love, peace, hope,
Love, joy, and hope.
and joy. Sorry,
Yes.
and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Why these 3 words though? I mean, there's so many positive traits and virtues, right?
I think I don't want just to be religious, but I really want it to be able to speak to everybody, because not everybody are on the same faith. But a good, encouraging work can really inspire everybody. It cut across everyone, right? So that's why anything that's love, bring loves.
It unites.
Yeah, it unites everything. And anything that it brings joy. Of course, everybody's happy.
It's true.
And of course, hope. We all want hope.
Yep.
Yeah. So the last thing you want to see every day is looking at something that is dark and sad.
Right. Especially in today's world right
Yes,
now.
right. Yes, right. We're bombarded with all the social media, with fake news.
Correct.
Yeah,
Also
yeah.
much negativity,
Yes,
and it's
right.
nice to have that silver
Yes, right.
lining, which is that hope that you're talking
Yes, right.
about.
Yes, right.
So, what would be some of the key milestones? I mean, you have a very illustrative career, right? I saw what you have done. What do you think, if you look back, how many years have you been an artist? If you give a number to that,
The exact year is actually only 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years, and
Yes,
you've
right.
done so much.
Yes, that's why my team is always saying that they are trying to catch up with me, because I think I produce more than what they can promote and what they can market.
Okay, so
Yeah,
tell me this last 4 to 5 years, right? What were some of the key milestones for you?
I think the milestone is when I see how I grow as an artist from we all start from ground zero.
Yes.
Right. I don't come up with immediately with a big gallery, a good workshop space for you to do all your art. No, we don't. I started off with sitting on my bed drawing using my iPad. Yeah, so that is where I started. And when I started my first piece of art, not this one, which I printed, and I have to when I move around, I have to carry the art to the customer place to show them the art piece. And can you imagine when I reach the customer place, and the customer was just shocked because the name and the theme is exactly she's looking at, and the size fit exactly to that wall. So it's something like that. It's really encouraging to me. So that's the beginning part.
As in like, when they requested a piece of art,
Yeah.
or they didn't
No, they
request,
just want to see something.
they just want to see something,
Yes,
and so
right.
you just brought something,
Yes, right.
and yet it fits.
Yes. And the
Wow.
customer is almost telling you, oh, okay, you can just leave it here.
Yeah, it's like it's meant for them.
Yes, right. Yes, right. So
Okay.
that happens, and of course, from there, it started with that, and along the way, when I wanted to expand the way how the art medium beyond just digital,
Correct.
because digital you can do, your studio is everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
true.
You can sit in a cafe. You can sit.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm most productive in the F flight in the airplane.
In the
While
airplane.
you're flying to somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck in the cubit.
Exactly,
And
you
you
have
can just
nothing
do
to
anything. You just
distract
draw.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I wanted to do more things, and that's where I started to trust God for a new space. A space allowed me to work, and also allowed me to showcase my work, because art need to be showcased.
It needs to be
It's very
seen.
different. Need to be seen, right? And people need to walk in and feel and see. It's not like a picture that you put online and people see and they like it and they'll spend the money. They need to feel and touch it. So physical art pieces is important. That's where I trust God to have a small working space, no budget. And yeah, I stumbled upon this place, and really it fits into my budget, and that space fit exactly to my needs. Nobody want that space because it's a very weird longish space, where longish is good for gallery because you need the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got that space for that first year, and it really gave me a lot of freedom to start to do creation. That's where I started to explore different medium, like example resin, yeah, things like that. So that's one of the key milestone, and then it start to move on to different spaces. We start, because by the grace of God, thank God that the work has appreciated, and people are buying it. So budget also, you have a bit more budget, so you started to look for a bigger space. Yeah. So yeah, that's
So let's
how it
let's
goes.
let's look at the first painting that you painted for someone that they buy, right?
Yeah.
Do you still remember what was that painting about?
Yes. The first painting actually is eagle. Yeah, an eagle is which is someone wanted it, and that time I was still not really officially selling it. It's just that I put online and just sometimes you draw something, you just put online, say okay, I did this.
Yeah, and then
so
it's like
interestingly,
they want
people want to buy. Yeah.
So that was your very first art piece
Yes,
that you
right.
sold. And
Yes,
that
right.
kind of started everything for
Yes,
you,
right.
right?
Yes, right.
And out of all the art pieces so far, right, which is the one that people are willing to pay the most price to it? Well, you don't have to tell me the price, but what is it that people are buying?
I recently just sold one of the record for my own pieces. Yeah, so it's actually a physical pieces, not original piece, which is not a print work, but original pieces. Yeah. So that piece is do I mention price?
If you can, if you're open to it,
okay.
yeah, please.
Yeah, that piece was it was sold at 26K. Wow. Yeah.
$26,000 Sing.
Yes, $26,000 Sing.
What do you paint?
It's actually a Chinese. It's a combine, because I love to combine things. I love to combine idea, combine mediums, combine tech and tradition, right? So again, I like the Chinese painting look, but I don't like just using Chinese paper with ink. So I use resin to spread like ink, and then I will start to sculpt the mountain in. So there is that total freedom, which you can't control what the mountain going to looks like.
Yeah.
But yet there is that control in how do you want to sculpt out the mountain. Yeah. So that's very fun.
Oh my God, let's see if we can see a picture of that, right?
Yeah, sure.
$6,000, amazing. What do you think is one value that has seen you through this entire 4 to 5 years of your journey as an artist?
Value. I think one of the things is that I hold patience, and focus very much to my heart.
Passion, patience, focus.
Yes, right.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So for passion, right? Because without passion, we can't do anything. Yeah, you're just crippled, right? And then patience. A lot of things, every one of us can do the same. What makes you different from me, sometimes it's just my little extra patience that cause it looks better, right? And then of course, focus. Focus is, once you lose focus, you lose your direction. You can't find your way. You can't really. Sometimes focus can be also a distraction. If once there's too much distraction in life, you will start to do things everywhere, right? So example, if I lose my passion, I lose my senses, the senses of feeling, what is good, what is trendy, what is great. And then once I lose my passion, lose my senses, I start to lose my patience. When I lose my patience, I'll lose my edge. Because both of us, if you spend, like example, because hyperrealism, I just use hyperrealism as an example. Hyperrealism takes maybe 2 months to draw for me, right? For you, if you really don't rush it, take your time, you may spend 2 years. But both of us can still do the same. But only cutting point is patience. So once I lose my patience, there's no difference between us. I lose my edge. But once I lose my edge, okay, and also if I lose my focus, what is the next thing happen? I lose my direction. Once you lose your direction, that's it. I'm gone. Yeah. So that's the 3 values that I hold closely to me.
Wow,
Yeah.
and you reminded me of a story, and I have no idea whether this story is real or not, but it's very beautiful. It says that there was this young artist that complained to his master. He said, I don't get it. I only spent 1 day to draw this piece of art, but it takes me 1 year to sell it.
Yeah.
And the master said, reverse the process. He said, I want you to take 1 year to draw this piece of art, and you will only need 1 day to sell it. And I felt like the master is you. Maybe you're the one that gave that advice to the young guy.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, and the best part, the twist to that story is this young guy eventually became very successful. He was Picasso. And that's why I say, I don't know how true is that story, but it's exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
The edge comes in when you're able to put in you're able to direct your passion, your patience, and your focus to that one thing and to do it so well that it will lose its breath seeing you do the things that you do.
Yeah, I think it's also consistency is very important. Consistency, like example, to do one thing and you say, okay, I'm going to give my heart and soul to focus on that one thing.
Yes.
To do it so good, out of this world, so good. It's not that difficult because you have a deadline to that. But if continue to do the same thing or even better every day, every projects, that is difficult, right? So if I tell myself, okay, I only have spent 2 months of my life to do a super good work.
Yes.
Most people can do it, but consistency is difficult. So then the other thing is learning and excellence. These are the few things that I really hold it very closely to me. Learning and excellence. I believe in learning. I believe in regardless at what age, 活到老学到老, right? At what age we continue to learn, especially in this technology world.
Yeah,
it moves so fast.
Yeah,
it moves so fast. You stop looking at something within 6 months, there's new thing coming up. Yeah. So worse, if you don't continue to follow up, you don't even bother to follow up anymore because you think that you are too far away. So that's one thing. And then excellent. I believe in excellent because excellent is something that when nobody is watching you, what are you putting in? What are you creating? What are you holding it? How do you walk it out? No, that's excellent. Yeah, so that's why I believe in this field.
Wow,
yeah.
I mean, I hope you guys are taking notes because essentially Patrick has just reviewed the 6 values that he held on to so strongly that allowed him to be successful. And I appreciate that. Where did this 6 value come from? Like, did it just land or did someone impart it to you? And do you realize all these 6 at the same time, a bit like the Infinity Gauntlet, the 6 stones, right? I feel like, Patrick can do an Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, and a snap of a finger, boom, 26K painting, right? Where did 6 values come from?
Actually, it's through years of learning, years of course, because we listen to sermon here and there. These are all wisdom. There's so many wisdom in there. It teaches me bit by bit. And then of course, while you are working it, a lot of things can be taught, but a lot more things you caught along the way.
Yes.
Yeah, you caught along the way. So you learn practically that this is very important and you must not lose this. Yeah, someone can teach you everything, right? Until I can teach you how to say, okay, before you dive, Eric, remember, breathe through your oxygen tank.
Correct.
Right? Don't use your nose and everything. Sure,
Correct.
you get 100% full marks on everything. But the moment you get into the water,
Yeah, you panic or
you panic.
forget.
Yeah, the currents will push you off. The buoyancy will make you float everywhere. Can you still remember all the drills? It is different. Yeah, so this is what, as you walk it out, these are the little values I slowly put into what I'm doing.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Patrick. This is so helpful. Another question before we jump into technology, okay? You said that your team cannot promote faster than you create, which is quite interesting for us, right? As a creative, I mean, a lot of people listening to us are content creators. We're constantly creating videos and content. We are very curious to know, where do you get all your ideas from, or how do you continue to be creative to put out so much good content?
I think one of the thing is I get all my inspiration actually is all from the word. Yeah. So sometimes the word inspired me. Sometimes is pictures that inspire you and connect you to the word. You know what I mean? Like example, people are asking, so a music come first or the melody come first or the lyrics come first, right? So sometimes it's either way. Either way. So likewise, this process is the same. The image can evoke a verse to you, or sometimes you see a verse and then you read the verse and then it evokes some image, right? So I use the 3 things that I would say: seeking, reading, and then hearing. Because seeking is where you look at a image, beautiful image, or movies or anything, right? You see things, you seek things. And then of course the verse as well. And then the reading part is where the verse will start to jump to you. Or reading inspirational book doesn't mean it has to be all Christian book.
Yeah, correct.
But it can be anything that inspire you. And then at the same time, or articles. And then the hearing part, it can be music, because we all know that music can be very evoke your emotion.
Yep.
So that's something that I believe in as well. So from music, then for me also, I'll be listening to sermon here and there. Sometimes these are the one that give me ideas to produce things, and to be honest, there are many times I think my idea is running faster than what I can do. Yeah.
And so how do you do?
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. So I have to start to seek which one should I do first.
That's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
But do you document down all your ideas? Like every time let's say you saw something, like maybe you watch a movie and you got an idea, then do you immediately take out your handphone and you write it down?
Yes, I do. There's no reason for us not to nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Because
the phone is with
the
us.
phone is with you 24/7.
Correct.
So what I do is I'll start to document it down, I will start to write it down, or I start to sketch down anything that I want. And one of the habit I like to do is I'll do digital collage, my digital notebook, which is through Pinterest, example. Pinterest is such a good platform that you can pin down all the things that you do research with. So that's one of my like
Got
a
it. So when you see
scrapbook.
something nice, you like a sketchbook, you put it in.
Yes, right.
Beautiful. Actually, you know what? You just said essentially is activating the three senses, right? The sight and your mental, your thinking,
Yes.
and then obviously your hearing,
Yes,
right?
Yes, right.
Wow, this is beautiful. Now, so let's go to the next category. In fact, just now, I initially wanted to ask you, like, what are some of the things that led you to become highly sought after? But I felt like you've already answered that question, which is that 6 values that you just mentioned, right? So those of you who are listening to the podcast, you can rewind it. Let me test my memory and let me see if I can still remember. I think number 1, Patrick mentioned about passion. You need to be passionate about something, right? And so that for you to spend more time at it. And then number 2, you need to have patience to see it through. Whoever spends a little bit more time at the work that they do, they will always have that edge. And obviously, we need to have focus because there are so many things that distracts us. And we might be talented, but if we're not focused, we will not produce the kind of result. Question is, are you a sunlight or are you a laser light, right? So that's that 3. The other 3 that you mentioned, let's see if I remember. I think it's commitment, right? You need to be committed to doing the things that you said you want to do. I remember that you also mentioned focus, but that's okay.
That's the 3, the first
That's
3.
3.
Yes.
Okay, give me a hint. Okay, so there is that 3 that you mentioned. Then you talk about commitment.
Start with L. And
Start with L. You see, I feel like he's quizzing me now. Hey guys, I'm doing it for y'all. You all got to take notes or not? All right, wait. Start with L. How can I forget that? That means that point haven't sit in my spirit yet. Don't tell me the answer. But give me a hint.
You 活到老.
How can I forget that? That's one of my values. Growth mindset, learning.
Yes, right.
Right. You need to constantly be catching because, like you said, right, things are changing so fast. You need to constantly be learning and growing. Okay, that makes sense. So we need to keep upgrading ourselves. What's the last one? Don't again give it alphabet and a hint. E.
Something you need to do it very good.
I know already. You must have the spirit of excellence.
Yes.
And that, what is spirit of excellence is about you doing the work even if no one's looking.
Yes, right.
Because a lot of times we do it because people are watching.
Yes,
right? That means you
right.
don't really buy that value.
Yeah.
Guys, you see, y'all learn or not? Better take notes, yeah? Right. So we got answers to that. Let's go to a fun topic today, okay?
Sure.
You're very interesting as an artist because when you step into the studio, you show us this piece of art, which is right behind Patrick right now. And would you describe that for us a little bit?
Okay, this particular piece is called Armor of God, which is armor, which is from the Bible. Ephesians 6, it talks about put on the armor of God, right? So I said, okay, how do I put on? Okay, maybe this part, when I share it, you can imagine my thinking process, all right?
Yeah.
So when I started to realize, okay, I read this particular verse, I say, put on the armor of God. I say, how do I put on?
Yes.
How do I put on, right? Put on means you visualize, you put it on. I can't physically go and buy an armor and put it on myself, right? So I say, okay, how do I put on is visualize it. So how do I visualize it? In order for me to help you, I will create something for you to visualize. And then when I do it, I also imagine in a way that I don't just create a piece of armor, but a piece of armor in life size. The original size is 2 meters tall. So when you look at it, it's eyeball to eyeball. Yeah, so the visualization become even stronger because it's life size connection. Yeah, so that's the way how this piece works. Yeah.
This is so beautiful. So guys, we were, of course, if you're listening on podcast, you have to go. This is an episode that you must go to YouTube because it's super visual, right? So I'm seeing is very exquisite. There are a lot of fine print and a lot of artwork being put in, right? Effort. But what was very interesting is when he brought it into the studio, he actually used his iPad and he filmed the painting, and all of a sudden there was a video that was playing. So that's a little bit of AR, right? Augmented reality. So what gave you this idea of combining technology with a physical piece of art?
Okay, I always love to combine things, right? Like I mentioned, I love to combine things. So I like to push boundary. I say, okay, traditional art is beautiful. Traditional art is so beautiful, fine art is beautiful, but can I bring it further? Because in the past, it's not that nobody think of it, it's just that the technology are not ready.
Okay.
But today, the technology, the platform is ready. It's just in your handphone. And in the past, you might have to carry a device to walking around to scan things. It doesn't make sense. But today, it's all just in your handphone. Download apps and you can just scan and you can bring forth whatever idea that you want to have in that particular image. So to me, is you bring art to life in a way. You bring art to life, and you can tell story beyond just that physical flat canvas.
Very true. And what was the video that we saw in when we were watching it?
Okay, that one was actually, it was showing you the potential of, okay, an armor can move here and there, right? Then after that, I cut out little snippets of the detail to show you how detailed this particular painting is. And then from there, the next phase of the video will be showing you the process of painting it, how it's been drawn out. Because to be honest, it's a compliment. A lot of people thought it's photographs. So because it's hyperrealism, that's a fun part, right? To tell people think that it's a photograph, then you tell them it's actually a drawing.
That looks so real, like a photo.
Right. So people will have a first wow factor. Second wow factor will be when you take out your phone and show them it come alive.
Yes, correct.
That will be a second wow factor. So that's why I think this AR, it works in that way.
It's super cool. I mean, you just said something that you want to keep stretching the boundaries, right?
Yes, right.
How do you, and I feel that that's a very important trait for entrepreneurs to have, or for anyone to have, because innovation is a very big part of creating something new, right? And it's a way to stand out from the crowd, the noise. Right. But a lot of us don't have that as an instinct. We tend to want to keep it safe. We tend to want to do things that has already worked for us and I'm very comfortable. And I also noticed that if you are already successful, you have a tendency not to innovate anymore. In fact, the older you are, the harder to innovate.
Yes.
Now, my question to you is then why is it that you are so different from the people that I meet? What makes you have that kind of wild rebel spirit that want to try something new and push things?
I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's so many people. There's so many people in this world. In fact, I was so inspired by example of Stephen Curry, right? NBA basketball player, Stephen Curry. So he's one of the best MVP player, best shooter.
By the way, he has a white NBA cap.
Oh yeah. So he's by the way, NBA is my client, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, now it all makes sense. You're working with clients that you're passionate about, right?
Yes, right. So example, he's one of the best shooter. But do you know that he's one of the first person after getting the MVP? We all think that once you reach my MVP, I'm
the best.
I'm the best. So people tend to slow down. But to him, at his peak, he's the first one to enter the courts to practice. He's also one of the last to leave the courts. So if he can do that, I have no excuse. I have no excuse to say, oh, we have done it and then we should stop it.
Which is what you just talked about, right? The learning mindset, right?
Yes, right. And the spirit of excellence. Yes. So it triggers down to many parts of our journey of who we want to be and where we are. There's no shortcut, certain thing. There's no shortcut.
Oh, so beautiful. I love it. And I remember reading in the Proverbs before that actually that's one of the traits that actually Solomon was mentioning is so important, right?
Yes, right.
Spirit of excellence is what get you to meet the kings.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if I remember it correctly.
Yes, correct.
But it just all came back to me now. Thank you so much. So why you have all these traits is because you have a lot of role models. You have a lot of people that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot from the Bible, but also from people like in the NBA.
Yes, right.
That are successful, yet are pushing boundaries. So why are you not doing the same? Or the very first story that you mentioned, that Peter stepped out of the boat why did not the 11 did it and you didn't want to be the 11?
Yes.
So beautiful. You have that Peter spirit.
I think we always have to think different. If like you mentioned, right, if everybody are always staying in a safe place,
Safe place, yeah.
then how are you going to be different within the safe space? It's so difficult. So, example, if Steve Jobs did not quit his jobs, his university school, right?
Yeah, correct.
You won't see an Apple today.
Correct. Or you didn't quit Apple when there would be no Pixar.
Yes, right. Yes, right. So there are always seems to be failure or seems to be you are radical, you are not safe. But that's where you make miracles.
However, Patrick, when you are stepping out, there's a lot of loneliness. How do you deal with that? There's a lot of, I don't know if you feel it, because sometimes I feel it. Like whenever I do something that's very weird, or people say it's weird or different, I feel very lonely. I feel fear.
Yeah.
How do you have those emotions?
Oh, of course. We're all human, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel.
We're all human. But I think for me, I thank God that I have a amazing wife that always encourages me
So you
and
need an
supporting.
encourager in your life.
Yeah. So I claim as every successful man, behind them there's always a woman, right?
Yes.
So mine is 100% because she really support me so much. Yeah, push it.
Wow.
You know, sometimes support include pushing as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes you just need that push also.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
And also, of course, with multitude of counsel, there's always that safety. And I believe in surrounding yourself with good counsel, not a stereotype counsel, but good counsel. Stereotype counsel means, example, you want to be photographer, you want to be a photographer.
Yes.
You surround yourself, everybody with a photographer. Full
Yes.
stop.
And good
Of course,
photographers.
and they all speak the same language,
Yes,
right?
correct.
I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just that everybody speaks the same tone and
Then
same
it's an echo
language.
chamber.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And your thinking or mindset will be very myopic in only one direction. So you need to surround yourself in different fields and hear from them. Likewise, example, if I wanted to be a entrepreneur, my counsel should not be everybody who is all 85 job. They'll tell you,
Don't.
you're crazy.
Yeah.
Why are you stepping out of this place? You're earning good money. Why do you want to get out of this place? But when you start to speak to entrepreneurs, they'll tell you, come out, get out. So you need to have a multitude of that a counsel to keep you safe and encouraged as well.
Got it. So people of the same tribe with you.
Yes, right.
That's what you mentioned. And if you keep staying with people that are currently at our level, then we will never feel comfortable enough to leave.
Yes, right. And of course, that you need someone who is willing to speak truth to you. Speak truth to you. I like to make this joke, all right? If I have time to just say a little bit of this.
Please tell us we have time.
So example, before I start up, example, I like to become a hawker's noodle seller, right? I invite all of you to come to my house and I cook free for you guys.
Yes.
What is the response? Most
Of
of
course,
you?
I'll say nice because I'm all free and then I don't hurt your feeling. You're my friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please never take this as your advice because it's free.
Yes.
The moment I start to charge Eric, $5 for one noodle. Yeah, your noodle not so QQ, not so
not enough noodle.
crunchy.
Fishbowl very small.
Correct. But if I charge you $15 for noodles,
Wow.
the critics get higher and higher.
Correct. Expectations
Yes,
get higher
right.
too.
Expectation get higher. So that's something that I felt that the person who willing to speak truth in your life, it can be hurting, but it is a very good advice sometimes.
Okay, so don't be the emperor with no clothes, right?
Yes, right.
Surround
Yes, right.
yourself with the wrong people.
Yes, right.
Wow, this is
It's
so good.
not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.
And you want to plan that these are people who are wise.
Yes.
They have some success, share the same values with you, but they are ahead of you.
Yes, right.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
right.
This is helpful.
Yeah,
So,
sharing a good value is very important to me.
I think so, because
Yes.
success, I can be successful in a bad way,
Yes, right. Yes,
Yeah.
right. Yes, right. Totally agree. So even I want to surround myself, I'll make sure that the person carry the same value that I respect. Because one, the value is wrong.
Yes.
Everything that you plan, that your intention is all wrong.
Yes, true.
Yes.
Even if the outcome is right.
Yes, right.
The intention is
Yes,
wrong.
right.
And eventually the trajectory will lead to a negative outcome anyway.
Yes, right.
Oh, well, those of you seeking mentors or you're seeking wise counsel, I think this part would be very, very helpful for you. Okay, so now we're going to go into a very fun segment of the interview, which is NFTs. All right, so first of all, tell me, because I only know NFT stands for non-fungible token, but I still no idea what is called fungible or non-fungible.
Okay.
Would you be able to explain to me, please?
Okay, I'll
What
try
is
my
it?
best to explain.
Okay.
So non-fungible means that anything that, example, a watch, a pair of shoes, a collectible shoes, or of course art pieces, and
Correct.
maybe even music tracks and anything. Your pet's pictures also can.
Oh, I thought my pet.
Yeah, as long as people are willing to buy, yeah, that is a transaction part, right? So
Yep.
that is considered non-fungible. And then the token part is
Wait, what is fungible then? Something that people...
fungible. Okay, fungible is like example, the money that can be pegged to 1:1 exchange. Like example, a gold, oil, currency. These are all fungible.
So fungible are things that is divisive, can be divided.
Yes, right.
So like that means if you give me $2, I can give you back 450 cents.
Yes, right.
And we will not argue.
Yes, right.
All right, so okay, got it. That's why cash is fungible.
Yes, right.
And so non-fungible basically just means that it has a subjective value.
Yes, right. Willing buyer, willing seller.
Oh, so I can just say I can even sell my toenail. And if I say that my toenail worth that much,
Yes.
and if people buy, it's a non-fungible token.
Yes.
It's just I cannot break my toenail into two parts and say I give you half a toenail and you give me another half.
Yes,
It's
correct.
cannot be divided.
Yes, correct. So willing buyer, willing seller.
Okay, now I understand the concept. Then what's token?
Token is actually, in short, we call it digital smart contract. So it's a contract that actually certified what the ownership is all about. In the past, like example, you can capture my pictures
Yeah.
on internet. People asking, but so
Who's the owner?
Yeah, who's the owner, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you don't really own that pictures. You only own the digital copy of that image.
True.
But you are not the owner of that image.
You're not a true owner.
Yes, correct. So this smart contract actually allows you to trace all the way and certify who is the owner. If you actually own this piece, this token able to capture all the datas and to point that you are the original owners.
And therefore, you're the true owner, and therefore, if I
Yes,
want to
right.
buy, I actually go to you instead.
Yes, right. Yes, right.
Okay, I hear you. So I'm very curious, right, Patrick? Like, because I know you recently launched a whole entire collective. Tell us more about that. What got you started in launching your own NFT art pieces?
Okay. I think I just wanted to get into this space because this is a space where I felt that I wanted to create a artist community. Yeah, an artist community that we can start to promote artists, include myself and of course other artists. So this space, right, is there are many artists in this space. They are pretty challenged in terms of how they promote themselves, right?
Okay.
The artist is always quite
Creative.
They are creative, but they are not the best person who do promotion.
Correct, true.
Marketing. Yeah. So this is also a space for us to create that community and help each other. Yeah. And then of course, I want to create a community that is different from others. Like a community that is we all know that there's a lot of keyboard warriors in this space. There are people who are love
Trolls
to
and write negative
and
stuff.
yeah, they just write all kind of things. But we are trusting that can we create a space where it's uplifting, encouraging, yeah, even prayerful for people who are down, who are upset. They can come in and
Yeah, like you said, all right, hope, love.
yeah, love, joy, and
Yeah,
hope,
joy,
right? Yeah. So that's again it right on the same vision that we originally have to bring love, joy, and hope into this space. Yeah.
But okay, I can get why you want to build a community of artists, but I don't understand how it connects with NFT though.
Okay, we in this particular space, you need to have a product, right? A product to bring in the members. It's like a club membership. You can't just sell a club membership without having a golf course. You need a product, right? So likewise, NFT is a product. A product for you to own that membership, to come into the space.
Yes.
And of course, with that membership, then what's the benefit, right? That you need to have benefits. So if not, then what's the
Yeah, what's the point,
what's
right?
the point going
Start
to the club?
owning that thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So like example, what we do is we will give free mint or free drop in different period of time of my art, or even in the future with different artists, they can do that. And also it will help us to give us a roadmap to the future. What can we do? And grow with this community.
So this community are not just artists. These are
No,
essentially Okay, so I get it. There are already two groups of people you're helping. Right?
Yes, right.
So the first group, so what you're doing is you're creating a whole series of NFTs, right? Which later we'll talk about what it is and how does it look like. And obviously people who are interested to own an NFT would buy something from you.
Yes, right.
And they automatically join that community.
Yes, right.
But if they're willing to buy one thing from you, then they will be willing to buy something else from another artist. And therefore through this community, you're also helping the other artists to come and create their own NFTs.
Yes,
and to kind of join into this new trend or this new world. Did I accurately mention that two parts?
Yeah.
It's like a marketplace. You are just building a marketplace.
Correct. Pretty accurate. So that's why it's difficult to explain because it's running two things at the same time.
Yeah, two groups of people.
Yes, right.
I
Yes,
hear
right.
you. And I suppose your strength, if of course you are the creative, right? I'm sure there are a lot of people putting all these people together. So maybe let's talk about your NFT. What have you created?
Okay.
Describe.
I created a character,
Okay.
which is I always see myself as, which is a sheep.
You see yourself as a sheep.
Yeah, a sheep.
Okay.
Maybe a bigger sheep. I don't know. Yeah, or maybe a black sheep. I don't know. Right. So,
Okay.
Because the Bible always refer us as sheep.
Yes.
So I say, can I bring this love, joy, and hope into this place?
Yes.
And sheep is cute.
Yeah.
You love something cute, right?
Correct.
You see
So
something cute, you'll be
innocent.
happy, right?
Yes.
Joyful, and you see that okay, if your sheep is so hopeless, they need a shepherd to help them.
That's true.
Then there's hope. Yeah, so that's where I use sheep as a character to start this. And when I started this, when I created the whole sheep, so I just think brainstorming, what's the name? What should we call it? I want something fun, something yet catchy. And suddenly we just say, why don't we sheep ba, but he also meh, right? Meh. Yeah, so I said, okay, then meh, because meh, and because the way that I designed it is also they are pretty chill,
Yeah,
relaxed.
very meh.
Meh. Yes, correct.
Very chill. Okay.
Yes. So that's how the whole name came about. And then from there we started to expand the idea of what can we play with the word meh, right? Example, we changed word amazing. Okay, then it become very catchy, amazing, good manning. So then the community started to just love the way how it's being communicated in that way.
Yes.
So it start to people start to change their own word. They start to change their own phrase to match meh into it.
Got it. But that word that they come up with, what is it attached to? Is it attached to just their username or attached to the NFT that they bought?
More to, like username or the way they address the community.
Oh,
yeah, it's very fun. It's very
I get
fun.
it already. So they incorporate the character's name into their
Yeah.
communications
Yes.
with one another.
Yeah, how come there's so many questions and things like that? So it
God,
becomes a
okay.
phrase by itself. Yeah, so it's very fun. Yeah, so that's something that we do. And of course, we create cute little emoji, right? Where stickers, where it
Yes.
moves with all the different mess. And on top of that, I think the original idea actually started with, I want to create toys as well. So with that toys, I create, the story has I love the story of David and Goliath. So David, before he met Goliath, he is a shepherd. He's a shepherd. So shepherd take care of sheep, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So then that's how the basics start. But I say, okay, I like to combine things.
Yes,
I like to combine
correct.
things. So I said, okay, can I combine this story with something futuristic?
Yes.
I don't want it to be overly too ancient or traditional
Ancient
style.
Israel.
Yeah. I said, can I have more fun? And NFT space is very fun. It's fun space, right? So I wanted something fun. So I said, can I create a futuristic looking David and a sheep? So that's where I started to create toys first. Yeah.
Okay. Again, those of you listening to the podcast, you have to watch the YouTube. So that's, oh my God, this David looks like the Toy Story, that spaceship guy.
Yeah, like Buzz
Like
Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. Okay,
Buzz
so
Lightyear.
David looked like Buzz Lightyear, and then behind him has the that ship, right?
Yes, right.
So that was the prototype that you created.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I before a toy, you need to feel it, you need to touch it. Yeah. Although you can do it in sketches, your 3D, everything, but you still need to feel it. So I decided to sculpt it and use clay to make up the whole entire toy. It's very raw. It's still very raw, but I just want to feel it and see how the maniac works, the position, everything. And this is the mare.
This is what we buy online, right? I don't think I should say online. I should say we buy on the metaverse.
Yes, right.
Right? These are the NFTs.
Yes, right. But not this one. Of course, not this one. It's the concept of the
digital
drawing
version of this.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So with that, this is the origin, how it started. That's how it started. So from here, I say, okay, David carry the ship. So I say, how do they carry the ship? Can I find a way to carry it? And most people think, okay, just put on the shoulder.
Correct.
I say, but this is the spacesuit. I don't want it to carry on shoulder. So I said, okay, can I snap it?
Yeah, so cool. It's very creative.
Yeah. So then with that, that's how the alpha version looks like. It's not as cute, but that's the original idea.
Yeah, it looks like a ship in a banana. And so then, because I understand from you that you told me you're going to be launching 10,000 NFTs, right? Of mare, right? Different variations of the sheep. But your first launch, how many did you put out in the metaverse?
In the metaverse, the very first Genesis piece, right? I started with 2,222.
2222. Is there a reason why you had 2222?
I have, my favorite number is actually 22.
Yeah.
There is a natural reason and there's a spiritual reason, all right? So the natural reason, because I was born in 22nd of January. So that's why I always like the number personally.
Yeah.
It's a bit biased, but that's my personal number. Then on top of that, spiritually, of course, do you want me to explain?
Yes, please. Yes,
that?
of course.
22, because when Jesus talk about, in the Bible, it says that I'm Alpha and Omega, right? So Alpha, and we all know here, there's a famous verse that phrase that Pastor Jesus talk about is I'm Alpha and Omega, but Jesus is a Jew. So he speak Hebrew. So when he speak Hebrew, he won't use Alpha and Omega because that's Greek.
Yes.
So chances are he will be saying what? I am Aleph and Tav. Because in the Hebrew word, the first letter is Aleph and the last letter is Tav. Omega is the first letter and Alpha is the first letter and Omega is the last letter. So A to Z. So Aleph and Tav. So that's one of the reason. And one of the key thing is there's 22 letters in the Hebrew.
I see. That's why 2222.
Character, yes. So there's 22 letters. And because Jesus says, I am Aleph Tav. I'm Alpha and Omega. I'm Aleph Tav. Means that he's all. So there's a spiritual meaning behind that. So that's why that's very close to my heart. And I like number 22. So that's why I said, okay, since that, we tried 22.
Awesome. Okay, so therefore right now in the metaverse, there is 2,222 sheeps.
Yes, right.
All looking very unique. I was told that it looks, every one of them is unique and different and it's random, right?
Yes, right.
Got it. So tell us, for people who are curious about NFT, why should they own an NFT?
Why should they own an NFT? I think NFT is the future. And metaverse is the future. Web 3.0 is the future. So owning an NFT is something that is like in the past when we look at what do you like, right? It's important, right? It's what do you like? They'll go to IG account, they'll check you out on where do you go, what do you like to do, what is your interest, or go to LinkedIn, who do you connect with? But in the future, this will be the one that people are looking at you. What do you collect? What do you buy? What do you actually have in your account?
In your metaverse
account, yes.
And we keep using the word metaverse, so you probably have to define it. I mean, how do you define a metaverse, or what is a metaverse?
Metaverse is a constant. It's a virtual space that allows full interaction. Yeah, a full interaction and. Okay, there's a technical name. Sorry, I forgot the technical name. But
it's okay. I think what you just said is perfect, right? So it's a virtual world. You could almost say the internet, like right now, when we surf the internet, we're still sitting in a 3D world trying to surf the net. But in future, we are in the net. Would you say that?
Yes, you can do that by then. Yes.
So very much like this movie Ready Player One.
Exactly.
Right, with a kind of Oculus kind of thing. Exactly. You can step into that world.
Yes.
You can be any character that you want. You can interact with people from faraway countries, but yet have never meet them before.
Yes, right.
And you can own virtual homes as well.
Yes, right.
And that's where the NFT lies, because then when I step into your home, that virtual home, I get to see all the things that you own because it's part and parcel of your identity.
Exactly. Because in the future, people will, half of their life will spend in the metaverse. So imagine, right?
So scary.
It's
But
scary.
okay, actually, wait. I say scary, but we spend 3-4 hours on social media.
Yes.
So it's not very scary.
You're halfway through.
Halfway there.
You're halfway there.
Yes.
Yeah. So people will spend more and more time in there, right?
Yeah.
For example, company has already started to work from home. You work from home, you met online.
Yes.
We all met online, right? What if one day the company will say, since we all met online now and we are still able to be productive,
Yes.
then why am I spending all the money having a physical office? So they remove physical office, they build a metaverse office in
In the
In
metaverse,
metaverse.
virtual verse,
Yes.
virtual office in the metaverse.
Yes, right. And what if, so then by then everybody will just meet in that space. I can see your avatar character individually sitting in the same room.
This is so cool. This is
That
what I
will
imagine.
Yeah. That's going to
I will look
replace...
so perfect.
Perfect.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. No acne, no pimples, no whatever.
Yes.
No COVID. Because
Yes.
there's no COVID there.
Yes, totally. So that will be a space, as you can imagine, how far it can go.
Got it. So would you say that NFT at this point of time, it's like an asset that we are pre-buying for the metaverse
right.
world?
Yes, right.
Whether we want to sell it and trade it in future, that's another thing altogether.
Yes.
But essentially, it's a very important asset that we will one day own in that metaverse.
Yes.
Like how a social media profile is something that we own right now.
Yes, right.
Our photos, for
Yes,
example.
right. In the past, before social media came out, when it just came out, right? A lot of us, when we say, okay, why would I want to show my things up there?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Why do I want to put my personal life up there? But actually, after a while,
We did.
our parents do that.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. This is such an eye-opener for me. And to think that I actually learned about NFT from an artist. You know, you would think that you want to learn all this technology stuff. You probably want to hear from someone who's in tech, right?
Yes.
But this is so cool. You're way ahead of your time.
Learning, remember? Learning.
You're
We
definitely
constantly
out
have
of the
to
boat.
learn.
You're definitely out of the boat. And that and I want to be like you. I want to get out of that boat too. So thank you so much
most welcome.
for sharing that. Tell us a little bit about, I know you just launched your NFT. So if let's say anyone who's listening to this or watching the YouTube video, they want to check out your mass, your sheep, where do they go?
Okay. They can go to my IG account, Instagram account, which is again Patrick Bazzalio.
Got it.
Yeah. So all the information is there.
Fantastic. So just click on your link tree and
Yes,
all the
right.
links are there,
Yes,
right?
right.
Okay, I can't wait to finish this interview because I'm gonna get myself one mare, right? And then experience it for myself. You know, the future. I like what you say, the future world, right? Which is Web 3.0.
Yes,
it's not
right.
even a web anymore.
Yes,
Right?
correct.
It's a metaverse. It's a
Yes,
world.
right.
Right. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And
Thank you so much.
You know, I wish you huge amount of success, because when you are successful, it means that there's going to be a lot of love, there's going to be a lot of joy, there's going to be a lot of hope in the universe that we're living in right now.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Right.
having me. It
Thank
really
you.
is my privilege and honor to be here.
God bless you too.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you.
you, Patrick.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
to all of you listening, we'll see you in the metaverse.
Yeah, see you there.
So this is definitely one of the most interesting episodes I ever done this year in 2021. I've always heard so much about metaverse, NFTs, cryptocurrency, but finally I start to see some light in this whole entire world. So I hope that you guys have gotten a lot of value from today. Going back to the essence of why we do Highly Sought After, I want to introduce individuals who are sought after in their own industry and to find out why they're successful, why they are top of mind. And I think in the case of Patrick, you know, really are the 6 values that really help him be so successful. I'm going to test my memory again. I'm going to see if I can still remember them. So the very first one is you got to have passion, right? Number 2, you got to have patience. And number 3, you got to have focus. So that's extremely important. And then the next 3, you got to have consistency. You got to have a growth mindset, constantly learning, and most importantly, have a spirit of excellence. So go measure yourself against those 6 metrics. And if you start consciously working on the 6 values, you know, in time to come, you too will become highly sought after in any industry that you are in. If you love interviews like this, we do this once every week on YouTube. So remember to hit the subscribe button, switch on the bell notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video.